Steps to Financial Freedom. And it's Susie Orman, who I told you guys about the podcast. And so I keep the difference between, we talked about having a book and just reading something on the internet or listening to a podcast, is that you can write in the book. And if it's your book and you want to have it for the rest of your life, which I recommend you do, have your own little library. Maybe it's only 10 books. Maybe it's 15 books, but you're looking at the balance in life. So you can have a couple books about relationships, a couple books about finance, a couple books about being healthy. And so that you're always going back and having a conversation with yourself by underlining, circling, making notes. So you have a relationship, a positive relationship with your library. Those are the things, even just by looking at the book from the corner of your eye, you're going to be like, oh yeah, that's right. I need to stay on track with this, this, and this. The association of just looking at the book will remind you of what you're trying to achieve. Okay. I have another book. This one's called Strength in Leadership. There's so many leadership books out there, but find your favorite. I love going to bookstores now. Most people don't do that, right? They just go on Amazon and they'll order a book. But what's different about going to a bookstore is that you don't have to commit to buying it. You can pick it up and you'll feel and you'll look at it whether this is a book for you or not. So I'll go and get a cup of coffee and go to a bookstore. And I recommend that you guys do this too, and go to browse around, right? And pick up a book, look at it. Sometimes the cover is great, but inside it's not something that you really want to read. So I'll go to the bookstore, I'll grab 10 books, I'll go sit in my get a cup of coffee, and I'll go through and I'll have a yes pile and a no pile. And sometimes I'll only walk out with one book. So I recommend that you do that. Here's another book about emotional intelligence. Okay, that one is just always reminding me to work on that. This one's about the negotiation game. Okay, we're negotiating every day in our life, right? So we want to be really good at negotiating. Here's another negotiating book. It's called Getting to Yes. So you're getting what you want out of life when you're able to get other people on board and say, yes, I want that too. So that's a really good book. This is one of my favorite books. This book is The Art of Happiness. So if I'm ever feeling sad or down, I pick up this book and I've underlined a whole bunch of stuff that makes me feel better. And I can feel better in like 5 minutes when I grab this book, because I have such a good positive relationship with that book. It can turn my mood around. There's another book, I listened to it on YouTube, and it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. It's a very, very famous book, you guys. And I just YouTubed it, and for free, I sped it up. You guys are probably really good at techie stuff. I didn't want to like listen to the whole book in slow-mo, so I sped it up and had it was talking really fast. But when I listened to the book, I had a piece of paper on my kitchen counter, and this day I was cleaning. So I like to do two things at once, as you all know, because that's a good use of time. So anytime the person that was reading the book, for me, it was an audio book, free, like I said, on YouTube, I would just have something, not a random piece of paper. Your journal is better, because your journal is something you're going to keep, and your journal is what you want to remember. I would write down certain things that I wanted to remember from the book. So the action step is not to read the book. The action step is to say, what do I need to take away from this book that would help me? So I ended up with just a bullet list of 10 things, literally like a dot, slash, and then one sentence, a dot, one sentence. So at the end, when we're reading a book, you can underline if you have the book. We want to just know, what's the takeaway? How do I break this down into simplest terms so that I can use it? Okay. So I also did that with this book called, I think it's called women are from Venus, men are from Mars, and it talks about the difference between men and women. And it goes around in circles. A lot of books will go around in circles, right? And stuff. So I would just break it down into, what do I need to know? And they're like, at the end, there's only like 5 sentences of what I needed to take away, right? I told you guys about Rich Dad, Poor Dad. The biggest takeaway from that whole book is, have a plan for what you're going to do with your money before you make it. And hopefully in that plan, it's going to have something to do with how to make more money with that money, right? So investing in some way.